Hello everyone, my name is Raphael Wampfler and I'm a PhD student at the Computer Graphics Lab of ETH Zurich. Tablet computers have found quick application in education as the technology offers new opportunities to students and teachers. It has been shown that tablets can influence learning pathways and improve digital skills. Moreover, tablets typically have built-in cameras, which can be used to unobtrusively record the student during the learning. Such data offers valuable clues to experts about the student's learning behavior and attention, and this data can also be used for predictions of the emotion of a student based on facial feature extraction. Built-in cameras have, however, a suboptimal viewing angle, leading to partially occluded and skewed faces in the recordings that makes it difficult to robustly extract facial features for emotion prediction. Using external cameras for frontal view recordings of students provides an optimal viewing angle for robust facial feature extraction and emotion prediction. However, such setups require externally positioned cameras, which can be obtrusive and further depend on timestamp synchronization with the digital learning environment. Using tablet computers for learning circumvents these problems, as the built-in camera can be leveraged and timestamps are inherently in sync. In this work, we present a low-cost hardware setup for recordings from the integrated front camera of a tablet computer, maximizing the visibility of the face of the users. Videos and images captured by the front camera are pre-processed, and missing parts are inpainted using a deep learning model to reconstruct the face of the users. Finally, we demonstrate the advantage of this setup and our reconstruction by an application for predicting affective states using front camera recordings. While working on a tablet, it is convenient to have the device lying on the table. As mentioned before, due to the field of view of the front camera, only part of a user's face is visible. To adjust the field of view of the front camera, we attached a circular mirror to the tablet using a hinge. The hinge was fixed with glue so that the mirror would remain in a stable position. A raw image captured by the front camera is split by the mirror into two parts, with the upper part of the image being mirror inverted. To reconstruct the images, we propose a series of processing steps applied to the images. First, we apply a perspective transformation with linear interpolation to flatten the splitting boundary of the image shown as a green line. This step simplifies image processing in the later stages and improves the final results qualitatively. The result of the transformation is shown in the second figure, where the splitting boundary is a straight line. Next, we rearrange the image by moving the part below the splitting boundary to the top and the flipped upper part to the bottom. The cut line defined by the mirror is shown in black. As a next step, we push the bottom corner of the upper face towards the middle by applying a second perspective transformation to the image so that the upper and lower part of the face are matching. We then rotate the front camera image so that the eyes are horizontally aligned. We rotate the image around the midpoint between the eye centers so that the line connecting the center of the eyes is horizontally aligned. As the last step in our image pre-processing pipeline, we inpaint the black region of the orange box in figure 5 with a neural inpainting approach. We apply the neural inpainting only to the bounding box because it contains the important parts of the face. We inpaint other parts of the image outside the bounding box using a simple Navier-Stokes based inpainting method, which is based on a circular neighborhood of 3 pixels for each inpainted pixel. Finally, we rotate the image back to its original orientation. Image inpainting is an image processing method to reconstruct missing or corrupted regions of an image. While non-learning based methods can have difficulties to ensure consistent image structures, learning-based approaches typically generate smoother results. Liu and colleagues used a neural network that consists of an encoder and a decoder. The encoder network transforms the input image into a low-dimensional space. The decoder then reconstructs the original image based on this this low-dimensional representation. The encoder and decoder networks consist of partial convolution layers. Before each convolution operation, the image is constrained by a mask to conditioned operation on only valid pixels. The mask is updated for the next layer, removing masking for pixels where the convolutional operation operated on unmasked values. In addition, each layer in the encoder network is connected to the corresponding layer in the decoder network using skip links. These skip links allow for copying unmasked pixels directly from the encoder to the decoder without passing the bottleneck. To direct the training of the network towards semantically meaningful inpaintings, a combination of 4 loss functions is used. We use this approach from Liu and colleagues to inpaint missing regions in images from front camera recordings. For training the network, we use a dataset consisting of 30,000 images of celebrities. We create the corresponding masks randomly and similar in shape to the expected masks in our front camera recordings. The masks are not necessarily horizontal but rotate if a user is rotating the tablet or the head. Now we present the prediction of affective states as an example application of our hardware setup. Affective states are psychophysiological constructs used to characterize emotions and moods. It was shown that affective states have an impact on learning gain. In our work, we are representing an affective state using this two-dimensional model shown here, consisting of valence and arousal. Valence indicates if a feeling is positive or negative, and arousal describes the intensity of the feeling. First, we pre-process the camera recordings to adjust the brightness and the frame rate, followed by extracting features from the adjusted camera recordings. We designed all features such that they are independent of the frame rate to support cameras with different frame rates. In addition, to correct for differences between individuals related to facial expressions and posture, we normalize each feature according to a baseline by subtracting the feature calculated over a baseline period, which was in our case a 7 minutes nature video. Finally, we predict 2 levels of valence and arousal using a random forest classifier with leave-on user-out cross-validation. Let me now explain the different features we extracted in more detail. Facial action units identify independent motions of the face. We extract features of the intensity of 17 action units covering motions in the eye, cheek, nose, mouth, and chin region. Moreover, the action units can be directly mapped to the 6 basic emotions identified by Ekman. So, for each basic emotion, we also calculate features of the corresponding added up action units. Researchers have found a correlation between eye blink frequency and stressful situations in a car driving simulation. Similarly, a correlation between eye blinks and affective states in learning environments was found. We based the eye blink detection on the signal from the action unit that represents eye closure as a continuous signal with peaks indicating potential eye blinks. We detect peaks belonging to an eye blink using our algorithm, which can be found in the paper. The intention behind features related to eye gaze is that individuals might look away when thinking while solving math tasks or when looking at emotional disturbing pictures. We discretize the eye gaze angle by defining 9 different gaze regions. The center corresponds to a line of gaze directed towards the camera lens. For each of the 9 regions, we count the number of occurrences and normalize it over the frame rate per second. Previously, the mouse aspect ratio was used to detect driver drowsiness. It is defined by the ratio between the height and the width of the mouse, which is increased when opening the mouse. For the head movement, we calculate the total distance moved to capture individuals continually moving back and forth. In addition, we calculate the velocity and acceleration of the head movements. The fidgeting index was introduced for predicting movie ratings from audience behavior by calculating the total energy individuals are using for the movement. We calculate fidgeting by subtracting the weighted average of past frames from a new frame, binarizing the image by thresholding it, and then calculating the percentage of surviving pixels with respect to the camera resolution. In contrast to features related to the head movement, fidgeting captures all the movements in the video. To evaluate our mirror setup, we reused the dataset that we collected in a controlled lab experiment. The dataset consists of data from 88 participants. They were recorded by the front camera using our proposed mirror construction setup and the GoPro camera. The study procedure consisted of two main steps conducted on a tablet. First, the participants were presented 40 pictures in random order from the International Affective Picture System, which is a collection of pictures standardized in terms of valence and arousal. Second, each participant solved multiple-choice math tasks. The math tasks were divided into 3 different conditions varying in difficulty level, available completion time, and monetary reward. After each image and math tasks, participants were asked to report their current valence and arousal level on a 9-point Likert scale. Here we see the facial landmarks detected by open face for 3 participants from the front camera without inpainting, using neural inpainting, and from the GoPro. The positions of the detected landmarks without inpainting are inferior compared to neural inpainting. For participants 1 and 3, the landmarks at the upper face are misaligned without inpainting. Often no facial landmarks could be detected. With our neural inpainting approach, we achieved a qualitatively good recovered image independent of the position of the missing region. It is mentionable that the inpainting and facial landmark detection also worked for participants wearing glasses. The detected landmarks after neural inpainting are similar to the landmarks detected from the GoPro recordings. Depending on the position of the head, the landmarks of the eyes and the mouth can become locally condensed in the GoPro recordings, and it might be hard to distinguish slight facial movements. On the other hand, from the front camera, the recordings are frontal and the variations of facial parts are better visible. This table here presents the average confidence in landmark detection of open face for the pictures and math solving tasks. Reported confidence values by open face are between 0 and 1, where 1 means fully confident. Without inpainting, the confidence values are low due to the imperfect recognition of landmarks. After applying neural inpainting, the confidence values increased by 19 and 88% during picture and math sequences respectively. Finally, the confidence in landmark detection of the GoPro recordings is comparable to the front camera recordings with neural inpainting. In general, for recordings taken during exposure to a stimulus set of images, the mean confidence is higher than during math tasks. This can be attributed to the fact that while solving math tasks, participants were moving more, which leads to more often to suboptimal head positions for landmark detection. Now let's look at our affective state prediction model. Our model based on front camera recordings achieved a performance of 0.8 AUC for predicting low and high valence from pictures, and 0.73 AUC for predicting low and high valence on math tasks. For predicting low and high arousal, the performance drops and is only at random level for math tasks, while for emotional stimuli from pictures it is above random with an AUC of 0.7. A similar pattern is visible for the GoPro recordings. In summary, the predictions using the front camera are comparable to using the GoPro recordings with a maximum difference of 0.04 AUC. For predicting valence based on emotional stimuli from pictures, the performance from the front camera recordings even exceeds the performance achieved by using the GoPro. We also analyzed the feature importance using the Gini importance measure provided by the random forest classifier. Features related to head movement and eye blinks contributed the most for predicting affective states. Interestingly, head movement from left to right was more informative than forward and backward movements. There were no features related to the mouth aspect ratio among the top 10 features for any model. In this work, we presented the hardware setup consisting of a cheap and unobtrusive mirror construction. Recordings were processed using a neural inpainting pipeline for reconstructing missing data in the recordings. We also showed the applicability of our setup on affective state prediction. Of course, our results also have some limitations. Inpainting of the eyes is difficult if the splitting boundary of the mirror is covering the eyes. And finally, our experiment is restricted to math tasks and pictures. Thank you.